Welcome to this TrendGuards Explainer. As always, our mission is to bring you accurate, verified, and well-sourced analysis on the tech industry. And today, we are digging into the official facts from the historic July 27, 2026 model releases. We're looking at what is essentially a fundamental shift in enterprise AI infrastructure, and we're backing this entirely with published documentation, official company announcements, and objective benchmark data. All right, let's jump right into the big news. According to the official release by Moonshot AI on July 27th, their newest model, Kimi K3, features exactly 2.8 trillion parameters. Now, you really have to understand why this matters. Releasing a frontier tier model of this immense scale as open weights, it's completely unprecedented. I mean, we've seen 7 billion and even 70 billion parameter models released openly before, but jumping to a 2.8 trillion parameter model represents just a massive escalation in open weight capabilities. And this number right here brilliantly illustrates the immediate disruption to the market. Despite that staggering 2.8 trillion parameter count, the official licensing cost for self-hosted deployment of Kimi K3 is $0 per token. So what happened? Well, Moonshot AI actually offered this as an API model initially, but they had to completely suspend new subscriptions because demand just overwhelmed their serving capacity. Their solution to that infrastructure bottleneck was just to release the full model weights for free download. The most important thing we can confirm right off the bat is that these are the full published open weights. This isn't some limited promotional trial. Alongside those 2.8 trillion parameters, Kimi K3 features a 1 million token context window. To put that into perspective, that's roughly 750,000 words. Think about what that actually means for a second. An enterprise can drop an entire legal case history, a massive proprietary code base, or hours of transcribed meetings directly into a single prompt. No complex retrieval augmented generation pipelines required. It is a massive amount of active memory.
Now, to make a model this huge actually run, Kimi K3 relies on a sparse mixture of experts, or MOE, architecture. And this is a really critical concept for enterprise decision makers to grasp. While the total footprint sits at 2.8 trillion parameters, the model doesn't actually activate every single one of those parameters for every single query. It only activates the specific subset, the experts, that are required for that specific inference. That dramatically increases computational efficiency. It essentially gives you frontier tier capability without needing the constant brute force compute of a standard dense 2.8 trillion parameter model.
Look, running Kimi K3 requires some serious enterprise iron. You absolutely cannot just run this on a standard local machine. Step 1, you're looking at securing a cluster of high-end GPUs, specifically an 8-GPU array of NVIDIA H100s or A100s. You need at least 640 gigabytes of combined VRAM, plus terabytes of incredibly fast NVMe storage. After you download the multi-terabyte weights, you'll need robust serving frameworks, think VLLM, TensorRT LLM, or SGLang, just to manage it all. Now there's a shortcut. You can apply 4-bit quantization, which shrinks your memory footprint by about 75%. That brings the hardware requirements down to something that might fit on just 4 A100s or 2 H100s. But keep in mind, you will trade off some performance to get there.
When you look at the actual data, a really clear picture of the current competitive landscape starts to emerge. This table details the confirmed output costs and the specific domain benchmarks. Kimi K3 takes a proven win on the front-end code arena with a 1679 ELO rating, which is fantastic. But it is critical to report that the premium closed models absolutely still hold their ground for highly complex tasks. OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Ultra retains the crown for complex terminal workflows, hitting 91.9% on Terminal Bench 2.1. And Anthropic's Claude FA5 leads in full-stack engineering with an 80.3% on SWE Bench Pro. But here is the practical enterprise math, and you just cannot ignore this. Let's base this on a moderate enterprise volume of about 100 million output tokens per month. If you rely on GPT 5.6 Ultra or Claude Fable 5, that's going to cost you between $3,000 and $5,000 every single month. In stark contrast, if you self-host Kimi K3 open weights, your cost drops to roughly $200 to $500 per month. Essentially, you're just paying for compute and electricity to keep the servers humming. For the roughly 80% of enterprise tasks that honestly don't require the absolute peak performance of those closed models, we are talking about a staggering return on investment. Seriously, in just 7 days, we witnessed 9 major product launches. It was wild. The week kicked off July 21st with Meta's Muse Spark 1.1 and a massive triple model drop from Google. The very next day, OpenAI dropped GPT 5.6 Ultra and their enterprise agent Presence. July 23rd gave us Anthropic's new Claude Cowork desktop app. And then, the pricing wars really heated up. On July 24th, DeepSeek V4 slashed API pricing to an aggressive 44 cents per million output tokens. Over the weekend, Google delivered its Gemini Omni World model, and then Moonshot AI completely capped it off by dropping Kimi K3's open weights on the 27th. This heavily compressed timeline confirms a massive, frantic phase transition in the industry. We are rapidly moving away from standalone chat tools straight toward integrated agentic systems and highly capable open-weight commodities.
The market shifts resulting from this week are pretty undeniable. As of right now, there is an official 114 times price spread between the highest-tier frontier model, that's Claude Fable 5 at $50 per million tokens, and the newly established baseline of DeepSeek at 44 cents or Kimi K3 at effectively zero. What we're seeing is a total recalculation of enterprise AI budgets across the board. The good enough revolution via open weights means that 80% of standard tasks like document processing, basic coding, or data analysis can now be entirely offloaded to self-hosted infrastructure. Those premium API costs, they're now logically reserved strictly for the top 20% of complex reasoning challenges. Furthermore, we're seeing industry values shift heavily away from the base models themselves and toward the application and infrastructure layers, which means the ability to fine-tune these open weights on your own proprietary, highly secure data is now a primary competitive advantage.
All of which leaves us with a critical strategic question to evaluate based on today's data. Are you equipped to deploy self-hosted open-weight infrastructure to capitalize on these new economics? Or will your organization remain dependent on premium frontier API pricing? Because the gap between those two strategies just became a 114 times cost difference. Thank you so much for joining this TrendGuards Explainer. We remain committed to delivering the accurate, verified data you need to navigate these major industry shifts. Keep evaluating your infrastructure, and we will catch you in our next analysis.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.